The overall posture that this will give to the Philippine Navy and the AFP is that we have more capable ships that could patrol our maritime domain for longer periods of time. And they are fully supported through our forward operating bases.
In the middle of the South China Sea sits a rusting World War II era ship. It doesn't sail, it doesn't carry missiles, and it barely looks seaworthy. Yet that ship has become one of the most important military outposts in Asia. Its name is BRP Sierra Madre, and keeping it supplied has repeatedly brought Philippine vessels into confrontations with much larger Chinese forces. That challenge raises a simple question. How does a country made up of 7,641 islands defend its maritime claims against one of the world's largest naval powers? The answer begins with ships. In 2010, the Philippine Navy had no modern guided missile frigates. By 2026, it operated 4. That single statistic tells the story of one of Southeast Asia's most dramatic naval transformations. And over the last decade, the Philippines has been building a very different navy. The result is a list that goes beyond missiles and specifications. Let's discuss how things have changed today with the ranking of 10 most important ships in the Philippine Navy today. And at number 10 is a vessel that carries almost no missile firepower at all. Yet without it, the Navy would struggle to move forces across the archipelago. The carrier of armies, BRP Davao del Sur. At first glance, BRP Davao del Sur seems out of place on this list. It carries no anti-ship missiles, no vertical launch system, and none of the advanced combat capabilities found on the frigates ranked above it. But naval power isn't just about sinking enemy ships. It's also about moving forces where they're needed. And few ships in the Philippine Navy are more important for that mission than BRP Davao del Sur. Commissioned in 2017, the Tarlac-class landing platform dock can transport hundreds of troops, military vehicles, landing craft, helicopters, and humanitarian supplies across the archipelago. For Philippines, that capability is invaluable. The ship has supported major exercises, disaster relief missions, and amphibious operations, proving that logistics can be just as strategic as firepower. Its biggest weakness is self-defense. In a high-threat environment, Davao del Sur would rely on escorts to protect it from aircraft, missiles, or enemy warships. But future upgrades, including close-in weapon systems and short-range air defense missiles, could improve its survivability significantly. BRP Davao del Sur ranks 10th because it cannot dominate a naval battle. But without ships like it, the Philippines would struggle to move and sustain forces across its vast maritime territory. Most patrol vessels are designed for a specific mission. BRP Rajah Lakandula is different. Commissioned in 2026, it is one of the newest ships in the Philippine Navy and part of the 6-vessel Rajah Sulayman class offshore patrol vessel program. While its current armament is relatively modest, a 76mm main gun and secondary autocannons, the real value of this ship lies in its future potential. Built by HD Hyundai Heavy Industries in South Korea, the class was designed with modularity in mind. That means future mission packages could add anti-submarine warfare systems, more advanced sensors, and potentially missile capabilities without requiring an entirely new ship design. For the Philippines, that's a significant advantage. The Navy must patrol a vast maritime domain while operating under budget constraints. A platform that can evolve over time provides flexibility that older patrol vessels simply cannot match. Rajah Lakandula also brings modern radar systems, electronic warfare equipment, and an integrated combat management system, giving it far better situational awareness than many of the ships it is gradually replacing. Today, it is primarily a patrol vessel. Tomorrow, it could become something much more capable. That growth potential is what earns BRP Rajah Lakandula the number 9 spot on our list. Some ships are important because of what they can do. Others are important because of what they represent. BRP Rajah Sulayman is both. Arriving in the Philippines in January 2026 and commissioned the following month, it became the first ship of the new Rajah Sulayman class and the first of 6 offshore patrol vessels planned for the fleet. Its mission is straightforward but critical: maintaining a constant Philippine presence at sea. That may sound simple, but in maritime strategy, presence matters. You cannot monitor waters you rarely patrol, and you cannot defend maritime claims if you are not there. Designed for long-endurance operations, Rajah Sulayman combines modern sensors, electronic warfare systems, an integrated combat management system, and a helicopter-capable flight deck into a platform built for daily operations across the country's vast maritime domain. This is especially important in the West Philippine Sea, where patrol vessels are often the first line of presence and surveillance. Unlike the missile frigates higher on this list, Rajah Sulayman is not designed to fight major naval battles. Its job is to show the flag, monitor activity, respond to incidents, and maintain awareness across thousands of square kilometers of ocean. That combination of operational importance and future growth potential places BRP Rajah Sulayman at number 8 on our ranking. If BRP Rajah Sulayman is about presence, BRP Tarlac is about reach. Commissioned in 2016, Tarlac became the first modern amphibious ship in Philippine Navy service and introduced a capability the fleet had long lacked: strategic sealift. Built in Indonesia by PTPAL, the ship can transport hundreds of troops, military vehicles, landing craft, helicopters, and humanitarian supplies across vast distances. Its importance extends far beyond military operations. The Philippines is regularly hit by typhoons, floods, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions. When roads, ports, or airports are damaged, ships like Tarlac become lifelines, delivering food, medical teams, heavy equipment, and emergency supplies to affected communities. The ship has also participated in major multinational exercises, helping improve amphibious and joint force operations with regional partners. What pushes Tarlac above its sister ship, Davao del Sur, is its legacy. Its biggest weakness remains self-defense. However, future upgrades could significantly improve survivability. But for now, BRP Tarlac remains one of the fleet's most important force multipliers. Because before a military can fight, it has to arrive. When BRP Jose Rizal entered service in 2020, it marked a turning point in Philippine naval history. Built by Hyundai Heavy Industries in South Korea, it became the country's first modern guided missile frigate and introduced capabilities the Navy had never possessed before: anti-ship missiles, anti-submarine warfare systems, advanced radar, and the ability to operate the AW-159 Wildcat helicopter. For decades, the Philippine Navy had focused primarily on patrol duties and maritime security operations. Jose Rizal signaled a shift toward modern naval warfare. But its greatest contribution wasn't just its weapons. It became the Navy's classroom for a new generation of sailors and officers. Through exercises such as RIMPAC and Balakatan, crews learned how to integrate missiles, sensors, helicopters, and allied forces into a modern combat system. One milestone came during Balakatan 2024, when the ship successfully launched a Sea Star anti-ship missile against a target vessel, demonstrating that modernization had become operational reality. So why isn't it ranked higher? Because despite its importance, the Jose Rizal class still carries a major limitation. Its planned vertical launch air defense system remains unfilled, leaving a capability gap that newer frigates have begun to address. Without BRP Jose Rizal, there would be no modern Philippine missile frigate force. It is the ship that proved the Navy could operate a true 21st century warship. If BRP Jose Rizal introduced the missile frigate era, BRP Antonio Luna helped make it operational. Commissioned in 2021, Antonio Luna is the second ship of the Jose Rizal class and remains one of the most important surface combatants in the Philippine Navy. On paper, it is nearly identical to its sister ship. It carries the same anti-ship missiles, anti-submarine weapons, advanced radar systems, and AW-159 Wildcat helicopter capability. The difference lies in experience. By the time Antonio Luna entered service, the Navy had already begun adapting to modern naval warfare. Training had improved, procedures had matured, and crews had gained valuable experience operating a guided missile frigate. As a result, Antonio Luna became part of the process of turning modernization from a project into a permanent capability. The ship has participated in major exercises, regional engagements, and patrols in the West Philippine Sea, helping strengthen both operational readiness and cooperation with allied navies. Together with BRP Jose Rizal, it formed the backbone of Philippine naval combat power throughout the early 2020s. Like its sister ship, Antonio Luna still lacks a fully activated vertical launch air defense capability, preventing it from ranking even higher. Antonio Luna represents the point where the Philippine Navy stopped learning how to operate modern frigates and started mastering them. That is why it narrowly edges out BRP Jose Rizal and takes the number 5 spot on our list. Modernization is not just about acquiring new ships, it's about learning from the last generation and building something better. That is exactly what BRP Diego Silang represents. Commissioned in December 2025, Diego Silang is part of the new Miguel Malvar-class, the most advanced class of warships ever acquired by the Philippine Navy. Compared to the Jose Rizal class, the improvements are significant. The ship carries a larger missile load, a more advanced combat management system, an AESA radar capable of tracking multiple threats simultaneously, and improved electronic warfare systems. But the biggest difference is air defense. For years, one of the most discussed limitations of the Jose Rizal class was its unfilled vertical launch system. Diego Silang was designed to address that gap, introducing the Philippines' first true shipborne vertical launch air defense capability. That changes how the fleet can operate. A ship that can defend itself is valuable. A ship that can help defend an entire task group is a force multiplier. The frigate also carries anti-submarine weapons, a close-in weapon system for last-ditch defense, and a larger anti-ship missile load than its predecessors. Taken together, these upgrades make Diego Silang far more than an improved Jose Rizal. It is a new generation of warship, a ship designed for the realities of modern naval warfare in the Indo-Pacific. That combination of firepower, survivability, and future growth potential earns BRP Diego Silang the number 4 spot on our list.
Upon joining the active fleet, the second Miguel Malvar-class frigate will enhance the Philippine Navy's operational readiness, maritime domain protection, and capability to uphold a free, secure, and rules-based international order.
Every modernization program has a defining moment. For the Philippine Navy, one of those moments came in May 2025 with the commissioning of BRP Miguel Malvar. As the lead ship of the Miguel Malvar class, it represented far more than the arrival of a new frigate. It signaled that the Navy had entered a new phase of modernization, a phase focused not just on acquiring modern ships, but on building a modern fleet.
During the commissioning ceremony of the Navy's 2 newly acquired vessels, the BRP Miguel Malvar and the BRP Albert Mahining, is a Philippine Navy that is modernizing, that is evolving, and is ready to conduct more complex and effective operations in promoting the country's national interest.
The lessons learned from the Jose Rizal class are visible throughout the design. The ship is larger, more capable, and built with greater room for future upgrades. It carries advanced anti-ship missiles, anti-submarine weapons, modern electronic warfare systems, and a significantly more sophisticated combat architecture than the fleet possessed just a few years earlier. But Miguel Malvar's importance goes beyond hardware. Its arrival doubled the number of missile-armed major surface combatants in Philippine service from 2 to 4 within a single year. That may seem like a simple statistic. In reality, it marked one of the most significant expansions of Philippine naval combat power in decades. The ship also reflects a broader shift in strategy. The goal is no longer simply maritime presence. The goal is credible deterrence, to defend national interests, to operate effectively alongside allies, and to navigate an increasingly complex security environment in the South China Sea and wider Indo-Pacific. That is why BRP Miguel Malvar ranks above every individual ship we've discussed so far. But as important as Miguel Malvar is, modern warships do not fight alone. And that brings us to number 2. So far, we've ranked individual ships. But modern navies don't fight that way. Warships operate as teams, sharing information, covering each other's weaknesses, and combining their capabilities into something far more powerful than a single vessel. That's why the Jose Rizal class takes the number 2 spot. Together, BRP Jose Rizal and BRP Antonio Luna became the foundation of Philippine naval combat power throughout the first half of the 2020s. They were the Navy's first modern guided missile frigates. The first ships capable of combining anti-ship warfare, anti-submarine warfare, helicopter operations, and modern battlefield awareness into a single combat system. More importantly, they were the ships that turned modernization into operational experience. Since entering service, the 2 frigates have participated in major exercises such as RIMPAC and Balikatan, helping Filipino sailors develop the doctrine, tactics, and confidence needed to operate modern warships. That experience matters. Technology can be purchased. Operational expertise cannot. By 2026, the Jose Rizal class had accumulated thousands of hours at sea, becoming the fleet's most experienced missile combatants. Together, they provide overlapping sensor coverage, anti-ship strike capability, anti-submarine warfare assets, and the ability to operate AW-159 Wildcat helicopters. For years, they were the face of Philippine naval modernization. Of course, the class still has limitations. The long-discussed vertical launch air defense capability remains unrealized, preventing the ships from reaching their full potential. But impact matters just as much as hardware. And no ships have had a greater impact on how the modern Philippine Navy trains, operates, and fights. That is why the Jose Rizal class ranks second. Not because it is the most advanced force in the fleet, but because it became the foundation upon which the modern fleet was built. Yet there is one class of ships that represents the future more clearly than any other. A class built with the lessons of the Jose Rizal program in mind. A class designed from the beginning for modern multi-domain warfare. And a class that now stands at the very tip of the Philippine Navy's spear. Every ship on this list tells part of the Philippine Navy's modernization story. The Miguel Malvar class is where that story leads. Commissioned in 2025, BRP Miguel Malvar and BRP Diego Silang are the most capable warships ever acquired by the Philippine Navy. They represent more than a decade of lessons learned since the Scarborough Shoal crisis of 2012. A crisis that exposed the limits of an under-equipped fleet and accelerated the push for modernization. Together, these frigates combine the widest range of capabilities ever placed aboard Philippine warships. They carry larger anti-ship missile loads than the Jose Rizal class, advanced anti-submarine warfare systems, modern electronic warfare suites, AESA radar technology, and, most importantly, the Philippines' first true shipborne vertical launch air defense capability. That changes how the fleet can operate. A warship that can defend itself is valuable. A warship that can help protect an entire task group is transformative. But the significance of the Miguel Malvar class extends beyond technology. These ships were built for the realities of the Indo-Pacific, an environment shaped by growing naval competition, maritime disputes, and the need for closer cooperation with allies and partners. The goal was never to match larger navies ship for ship. The goal was deterrence, to raise the cost of aggression, to strengthen maritime security, and to provide the Philippines with a more credible naval presence in contested waters. That is why the Miguel Malvar class ranks number 1. Not because it is the largest class in the fleet, not because it is invincible, but because it represents the current peak of Philippine naval capability and the clearest vision of where the Navy is headed next. These ships are not the end of modernization. They are the beginning of its next chapter, the tip of the spear. From BRP Davao del Sur's ability to move troops and supplies across thousands of islands to the air defense capabilities of the Miguel Malvar class, every ship on this list serves a different purpose. Some provide presence, some provide mobility, some provide deterrence. But together, they reveal something much bigger. Because this ranking was never really about individual ships. It's about how a navy transformed itself. A navy that once relied on aging patrol vessels now operates modern missile frigates, advanced patrol ships, anti-submarine helicopters, and one of the most capable surface fleets in its modern history. And that transformation is still underway. When you look at these 10 ships individually, it's easy to focus on the missiles, radars, and technology. But the real story isn't about ships. It's about transformation. If you like the video, do not forget to share it with your friends, like it, and subscribe IndoPacific Report for the latest geopolitics and defense analysis.